Welcome everybody to the 57's Flashback, where we recap Week 3 in the NFL.
It was a crazy one.
There were so many games where it was just crazy. I mean, so many upsets. Who thought the Bears were going to beat the Steelers?
Right? No one.
No one thought. You, me, and Bobby all picked the Browns beating the Colts.
Didn't happen.
No. Bobby picked the Colts. But you and I picked the Browns.
I thought if any week they would get it, they would do that.
The Falcons almost lost to Detroit. Well, that was interesting. The way they lost, because Detroit won and then didn't. Because rules. Because football.
Football happens, guys.
Football happens. And then Rule 51.
Rule 51.
Rule 51.
I was
Houston
watching
had
that,
it in the bag, and then they got Rule 51. So.
Never come out Tom Brady with 5 touchdowns.
Yeah, man.
So, we got something to settle here.
We do.
So, this man here mistakenly thought that in 3 weeks, the Ravens, who you dropped this week, would get another 4 interceptions.
Well, they're playing the Steelers this week, so.
So, we had a slap bet. I'll play the replay here. I say Baltimore's defense gets less than 4 interceptions this week.
I say Baltimore's defense gets at least 4 interceptions this week.
Slap bet.
Slap bet.
So,
I mean, they were going up against Blake Bortles. Blake Bortles is the man who loves to throw to the wrong team. I mean, he always throws.
Well, he had no one else to throw to because the Ravens didn't show up. So.
So they apparently, as Andrew pointed out to me, Blake Bortles is only good outside of the United States.
I guess so.
So
they do have one game in London a year, so
that's true.
That's a contract kind of thing. So
yeah. So
I win that slap bet. So you ready?
The first slap bet he's ever won against me, actually. So
Probably.
Here we go.
Yeah, here we go.
There it is.
I could have done it harder, but yeah, you don't want to anger redheads. All right.
So with that,
I can see in the comments now, Danny, that was a girly slap. But you only get 1 attempt in.
That's true. That's true.
I did win a couple slap-ins against Joe Lyon.
Yes.
And
Joe Lyon was surprisingly terrible at slap bets.
They do all sorts of weird things in Minnesota. I've been there. I won't go over there again.
That's true.
So why don't we say to go to the first matchup, or what do you got?
Yep. Let's go into the recaps for the 57's League this week. And we'll start with you and me.
Well, let's go down the line.
Oh,
like we did.
That's right.
Here.
That's right.
So we'll go Taylor.
Who was first in that?
Taylor and Brad.
Taylor and Brad. There it is.
Yeah.
Taylor beat Brad handily, so that's a point for me because I called.
Did I call Brad?
That Brad would win. I believe
Brad
he did. No, I called that Taylor would win. Sorry, called that Brad would lose. And
stand out in this game, Todd Gurley. He's back. Man. He's in form. This may be his best week of the year, but he looked great on a strangely thrilling Thursday night game, which I didn't get to see. I was at work really, but yeah.
Yeah. You did call that Brad would lose with that one. The only one that you and I disagreed on was you versus me.
Yeah.
So
so I win the week.
Yes.
Another one, Larry Fitzgerald with a great showing.
Oh, yeah.
Another fact about that one is that Sean here actually got beat by 2 hauls this week.
Yep.
In another league, he faced my wife, and all that Larry Fitzgerald needed was like 4 or so points.
He needed a touchdown.
And he would beat him? Oh, he got more than that.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Which I do take comfort in the fact that even though I was beat by the whole family, which... Say that with a southern accent.
The whole family?
Yeah, it sounds like the whole family, Hall family. I mean, take it either way. Even though I was beat by both of them, I do take comfort in the fact that had I played a perfect lineup in each game, I still couldn't have beat the lineups that you guys started. So I take losing better when that happens. I still don't like losing.
No one likes losing.
No one likes losing, but you do take some comfort in the fact knowing that even though you made some mistakes, if you did run perfection, you still would have lost.
Yeah.
And that is slightly comforting. I mean, you still lost. I still suck.
Back to this game though. Sorry, OBJ looked like OBJ, 19.9 points.
Yep, he's looking good.
That was a great one-handed catch in the end zone there.
He loves to do that. So
some duds on the starters here. Chris Johnson for Arizona. I don't want any part of the Arizona running game.
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't really consider that a dud so much as, guys, that's just what Arizona's going to look like without David Johnson.
Without DJ Score-Rock, as they call him in ESPN.
Yeah, DJ Score-Rock. I mean, CJ2K used to be fantastic. He used to be CJ2K. But he's not CJ2K anymore.
Nope.
So...
one more dud here. Derek Carr, 5.2 points.
The Washington just... And I think that has a lot to do with Josh Norman. Josh Norman is looking really good this year.
Him and Patrick Peterson are like number 1 and 2 interchangeable there.
Yep. And I mean, then you've got Richard Sherman in there as well in the top 5. But
I'll get there later. No, I'll go there now. Richard Sherman had 3 penalties in one play. What the H, Richard? What the heck is going on with you?
Yeah,
Are you serious? It was pass interference before an interception by Cam Chancellor.
Yep.
Then holding after the interception by Cam Chancellor. Then after the play, he had unsportsmanlike conduct for taking off his helmet and screaming at the ref. Richard, don't play to what people think you are. Sorry.
That's true. I do have to say for Richard Sherman, though, usually he plays really smart. Usually when you watch him play, he knows the rule book better than the refs.
Yeah, that was
That was
horrible.
That was heat of the game. Throws you off.
So let's say we move along here. Good job, Taylor, beating Brad.
Yes,
Taylor
well
improves. They both are now 2-1. Let's go to, oh, dang it, I clicked on the wrong one here. Kyle at...
We should be at Kyle at James.
Kyle at James. James falls to 0-3. Kyle improves to 2-1 in a 90. This was the closest game, so best effort you've given. Well, I guess your team. I can't blame you really
That's
for
true.
weeks 1 and 2.
And week 3 is the first week I'll give him full credit for. So he's 0-1.
Yeah.
His team is 0-3.
Some standouts here. Dalvin Cook with 22.9, showing he is again. The rookie running backs are killing it this year.
Yeah.
Dalvin Cook, Leonard Fournette,
Kareem Hunt.
What's his name? Tariq Cohen on the Bears.
Tariq Cohen.
Just to name 4.
Not to mention Chris Carson.
Chris Carson is doing. I would put him in the top 10 of rookie running backs.
He's not like the elite top 5 that you're seeing, but he's basically won the starting job in Seattle. So
yeah,
I mean that's another
I
rookie.
dropped Thomas Rawls, so hopefully he finds somewhere. Another standout here, Doug Baldwin, 19.5 points.
Yeah, that was
in a game where the Seahawks were playing from behind in the fourth quarter.
Yeah.
Which I've learned something here is that if you anticipate a team playing from behind, you want their quarterback.
Right.
Because they'll be throwing a lot.
Right.
And that's what happened here.
And their top wide receiver.
And that's what happened here with Doug Baldwin, 19.5 points there.
It's what happened to the Cardinals, where Larry Fitzgerald went crazy.
Couple other standouts. One on the bench here, Sammy Watkins for the Rams. And
25.6.
Again, a game that no one anticipated where they would score collectively 80 points.
Yeah, I did not expect that to be such a high-scoring game at all.
Another small one here. Tyreek Hill with 15 points. Right now, he is still ranked in our league the 4th best wide receiver, so good on you there.
Yeah, and that really doesn't surprise me. I mean, Tyreek Hill has speed, and the Chiefs are scary this year. Tyreek Hill and Kareem Hunt.
And Alex Smith,
and Alex Smith. Alex Smith is surprisingly
He's
really
the 3rd
good
best
this year.
quarterback in fantasy in our league right now.
Yep. And I mean, when you got 2 speedsters, I mean, Kareem Hunt is not slow.
Nope.
He's shifty, but he's big and he can take the hits too.
You know he's going to break a couple times.
Right. You know that he will run. He will get at least one run for at least 20 yards. He in all 3 games so far, he's had a run for at least 50 yards. So
he's a stud.
And Tyreek Hill just as fast.
One more thing here, Matt Prater with 19 points.
That's
scored more than Tyreek Hill.
Yeah,
he was the 3rd top scorer on the team, behind the quarterback and Tyreek Hill. Actually, 2nd. I can't count
He's the third best.
Third.
Dalvin Cook,
22.9.
Dalvin Cook, Marcus Mariota, Matt Prater.
The
big standout to me there was that Jay Ajayi was only able to get 2.5 points against the Jets.
Yeah.
In a game where Miami lost. We called that one wrong, too.
Yep, everyone called that wrong.
Mm-hmm. Miami lost to the Jets.
Mm-hmm. Here, a couple duds on starting here. Of course, Jay Ajayi, like you said. Yep. Jeremy Maclin, welcome to Dumpsville.
Yep.
We don't need him anymore. Phillip Rivers, I would say dump him, in my opinion. Dump him. But I wanted to bring up something here. I wanted to debut a new segment where we went through everyone's team, and it would be called What the H Is He Doing on Your Roster? Yes. I can only find really one through some research here.
We've got one right now.
Yeah. Sean, who is the 32nd ranked, for fantasy purposes, 32nd ranked defense in the NFL, in our league?
I believe that would be the Patriots.
The Patriots. Let's take a look at them. Patriots, week 1, -4 points against Kansas City. Week 2, -2 against New Orleans. Week 3, 3 points against Houston, who has almost nothing going for them on offense. Okay, never mind. They're doing a little better. But
yeah, Deshaun Watson.
Yeah, that gives them a total of -3 points on the year. What the H is he doing? Are they doing on your roster?
I mean, and not,
give me an answer.
not to mention the fact that they have to then face Atlanta later in the season, Denver later in the season, Pittsburgh later in the season, Oakland later in the season.
It's just
Tampa Bay. Carolina is looking a little better.
The Patriots aren't going to win on defense. They're going to win because they have Tom Brady.
Tom bleeping Brady.
They are going to outscore their opponents. They're on pace for over like 65 touchdowns this year.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah.
I mean, Brandon Cooks is looking fantastic. Mm-hmm. Rob Gronkowski is looking fantastic.
I'm going to win that slap bet. I'm going to slap you twice this year.
You still think Cooks is
I still think
the
number one overall. I still say it. But let's move on. We spent too much time on that.
I don't know who the number one is right now. We'll figure that out later. Moving on.
I couldn't tell. Bischoff wins handily over last year's winner. I put this in my email last year. At the end of the regular season, last time I checked, after week 13, Christian was on a 9-game winning streak, which then would mean he was on a 11-game winning streak
to win the championship
because he won in the first round of the playoffs and the championship. He finished last season with an 11-game winning streak. He's starting out 1-3. I don't know what's going on. Maybe it's because you didn't auto draft, but yeah, I don't know.
I mean, he just cannot get anything going. I mean,
one thing I would say is that his top 3 scorers this week were all on his bench.
That is true.
Dak Prescott, quarterback, wide receiver, running back. I don't know if that's typical. Dak Prescott, T.Y. Hilton, Jordan Howard.
Yep. I mean, granted, Jordan Howard was questionable going into the game.
I don't think he's questionable anymore. Well, like injury-wise, maybe?
Injury-wise, yeah.
Okay, yeah.
He was questionable injury-wise going into the game.
I would say,
and several times throughout the game, he had to come out, nurse his shoulder a little bit, come back in. But
I think
you
he's
could tell
he
really wanted that.
Oh, yeah. But anyway, Bischoff wins 90-52. This is, I feel like Bischoff versus Christian is kind of a rivalry. I don't know why.
Yeah, it does. It does kind of have that feel, doesn't it?
But Bischoff comes out on top, almost scoring as many bench points as total points that he did. I'm going to start a new stat. I need to rework my spreadsheet a bit. I want to figure out who scores the most total points out of all their players, and then the least points.
Right. So just add total points.
I could do it by hand, but I've got a cool spreadsheet now where I just plug in the values, and, and it does all that for me. So I'm going to add that.
So you just add another value.
I'm going to get that in there soon.
For my leagues that I do the calculations, I just do a spreadsheet now.
Yeah. With formulas and everything in there.
It's way easier.
It's so much easier. I used to do all the calculations for my emails on a piece of paper, pencil, calculator by hand.
Yep.
Then I learned how to use Excel better, and it's a lot easier that way.
I mean,
go ahead.
It's fun to do it by hand, and the first time you set it up is longer putting in all the calculations, but then once you've got it set up, you just copy paste, delete.
It's a huge time saver.
Go for it.
Tom Brady, again, is the number 1 scorer this week, 38.7 points.
I don't think that's exactly a surprise.
Nope. But he it's wonderful. Helped me, helped Bischoff.
Yep.
I was considering a trade here. I asked Kareem Hunt for Tom Brady straight across. I asked my boss at work. He said, "No, idiot."
I mean, I think it's fair, but I'd rather have the running back.
Yeah, especially because I don't know. Tom Brady is I would say on borrowed time. He could retire at the end of this year in a league where we're going to do keepers next year.
Yep. You want Kareem Hunt as a keeper.
Devonta Freeman, 22.8 points.
Also not surprised there.
Going back on the bench, 32.3 from Stefon Diggs in a romp they had against Tampa Bay. How did we pick that one?
We picked you. I picked the Bucks, and both you and Bobby picked Minnesota.
Oh, okay. Did I? I can't remember. I can't remember what I had for breakfast. Well, I just had breakfast. And we talked about Christian's lineup there. A couple of huge duds. Christian kind of his players turned on him.
Right. I mean, Travis Kelce, 1 target, 1 catch, 1 yard.
Yeah.
That's not going to happen. But Christian no longer has Travis Kelce.
Maybe fantasy football finally realized that I'm their man. And that Christian was just a jerk who didn't care about him as much. No.
You better be careful because now you'll go on an 11-game losing streak.
Probably. All right. Let's move along to Bobby at Andrew.
Really fast, I do have to say, on Bischoff's bench, Stefon Diggs, he's looking like a stud. I mean, last year he started to show it. This year, Stefon Diggs is
must
the
start
real deal.
every week.
He's the number 1 wide receiver right now.
There you go.
Yes, number 1 wide receiver, followed by Antonio Brown.
There you have it. And then followed by Brandon Cooks. That's okay. He'll get there.
I am banking on Antonio Brown just staying consistent and Stefon Diggs hopefully having a couple more big games. I'm okay. Brandon Cooks is number 3. I just don't think he's going to be number 1.
He's going to be number 1. Just you watch.
All right, moving on.
Hey, if freaking Tom Brady keeps that up, he's going to be number 1.
That's true.
Do you really think Sam Bradford or Ben Roethlisberger are going to keep that up? That's why I think he's going to catapult to number 1.
Fair enough.
Okay. So now we go to Bobby improving to 3-0 in an 85.8 to 70.5 win over Andrew.
Very close game.
Yeah, this was the second closest one, of course.
Yep.
It's a couple standouts. A-Rod and 27-8, where they... Did they win? They won. I can't remember.
Yes. Yep. They won in overtime.
Right.
It is the first time Aaron Rodgers has won in overtime, and it's the first time that Aaron Rodgers has beat the Bengals. Aaron Rodgers...
They're in a different conference, so...
Yes, it is the third time that the Packers have played the Bengals since Aaron Rodgers entered the league. The first time that they played was at Lambeau Field when Brett Favre still played for the Packers.
Yep.
And that was the game where the fan jumped out of the stands and ran and stole the ball from Brett Favre
I don't remember
on the drive that was going to possibly win the game. And
just totally knocked him off his mojo.
Totally knocked him off his mojo. I recommend going to the video. It's hilarious.
I want to watch it.
It's pretty funny as the security guards, like 2 of them, slip on the slightly wet grass and crash into each other, and then they tackle the guy to the ground. It's pretty good. And then the other 2 times, the Bengals just straight up beat Aaron Rodgers. So this is... Aaron Rodgers has now officially beat every team in the league.
Only took him, 10 more years than Tom Brady?
Aaron Rodgers does say that he does count that he's beaten the Packers because he says he's made some mistakes that have cost them games. And so...
I like that.
So I'm okay with that.
Yeah.
But there you go. Fun little tidbit.
Carlos Hyde, 21.4 again in a...
Surprise.
If you played any Niner or Ram that game, it was good.
Chris Thompson going for 27.8 on Bobby's bench. Chris Thompson is looking pretty good as a touchdown vulture in the passing game. They really like him in the passing game.
Yeah, and he's a running back. I was taking a look at his stats here, and I'm like, he only had 8 rushes for 38 yards.
Yep.
How the heck does he have... Oh, okay. He has 150 receiving yards and a receiving touchdown.
Exactly.
So, interesting.
It's just because Kirk Cousins loves Chris Thompson, just that dink and dunk right there on the edge.
You know who else does that really well? Tom Brady.
Tom Brady. Tom Brady does do the dink.
Do you think
and dunk.
he might be a reverse Ty Montgomery? Ty Montgomery went from wide receiver to running back. Chris Thompson running back to wide receiver.
See, I was thinking that too, but I see him more as in a James White role, just a receiving down running back. Kind of like going to the other side of this matchup, Christian McCaffrey being used for the Panthers. I mean, he's got
4 rushes for 16 yards.
Right, 4 rushes for 16 yards.
But then 9 receptions for 101.
Exactly.
Yeah, I thought that was strange too. I was listening to ESPN's Fantasy podcast, and they were saying how Christian McCaffrey had a bunch of. I was like, isn't he a running back?
Yep.
So, but 14.7, not bad. I don't think any really bad calls here on his size. I mean, Alex Smith over Kirk Cousins. I'd say flip a coin on that one, but I
mean, Smith looking great, Cousins against what was supposed to be a good defense. The only bad call maybe was not starting Chris Hogan over Keenan Allen, but again, Keenan Allen was looking like the focal point of the Chargers passing. Devontae, out of everyone that he had, I maybe would have started Devontae Parker over Keenan Allen just because I like that matchup.
Oh, against the Jets, yeah.
Against the Jets.
Especially, KC's doesn't have a half bad defense, so.
Right, but there's nothing, there's no move here that I would have said, Andrew, that was a stupid choice. Why'd you do that?
I'm sure Andrew tells him that himself all that time.
Yeah,
but
and I mean, the Bucs against Minnesota, I would have started that over the Lions at Atlanta. Who would have thought that the Lions would have scored 8 points? So.
Yeah. And now we move on to
us.
This. I'm going to play a couple. I'm going to do a lot of interesting things with the video. Here are some highlights and things that we both guessed last week. And then this happened. I was the top scorer this week. Sean was not the second.
No. I do believe I was I the lowest?
No. That was Christian.
That's right. That was Christian.
You were like bottom 3.
I was pretty close.
Yeah.
I mean, I think except for Antonio Brown and Drew Brees, and I mean, Antonio Brown, Drew Brees, and Zeke, good games. 20.8, 15.4, 20. I mean, that's what you want from those kinds of guys. Everyone else forgot to football. I mean,
including your Ravens.
Yeah, including the Ravens. I mean,
what was that team that flew to London? Was it the Ravens?
I think it was.
They were wearing Ravens jerseys, but I mean, I'm not sure if it was them.
I think it was some Pee Wee league from Baltimore.
Yeah, probably. Called the Ravens. Called the Baltimore Ravens. A couple things here.
Although I do have to say, I don't feel that bad because, I mean, you look at my bench, and I only had 2 other players that did anything. So I just got wrecked.
Wrecked starts with a W. I was going to say not another word that starts with R. But a couple things. You said that Drew Brees would do better than Russell Wilson. Again, I started Carson Palmer because who would have thought that Russell Wilson would do that well in September? I'm probably going to be rolling him out there, especially this week.
Right.
But,
at home.
But Carson Palmer did score more than Drew Brees.
Yep.
Ezekiel Elliott, he said, I'll take a Pete off Ezekiel Elliott over Kareem Hunt.
Nope. I did say I'd take Zeke at Arizona versus
Marshawn Lynch over C.J. Anderson. Even though C.J. Anderson didn't have a good day, he did score.
Both terrible. Marshawn Lynch did worse.
Antonio Brown and Brandon Cooks.
I took Antonio Brown.
You said Antonio Brown and Martavis Bryant would score. They did okay. They did 11. They did 11.5 points each.
Yep.
But Brandon Cooks and Devontae Adams
did
a lot better.
13 points each.
Javorce Allen, Michael Thomas. I think I had someone else in the spot of Michael Thomas there.
I think you did.
And then I switched it out.
I think you might have had Rawls at the time.
I wouldn't have put him in my lineup. But anyway.
But
then the defenses is where I had to slap you in the face.
I definitely took the Ravens, and that did not work out.
And then
then I called Walsh and Tavecchio a wash
You said maybe Tavecchio.
I said maybe Tavecchio.
I watched the tape again.
Yeah, I said a wash, but if I had to pick one, maybe Tavecchio.
Yep.
So I was right on one.
Which one was that?
Tavecchio.
Oh, yeah. You didn't want to be right on that.
That was it.
Yep. So let's
there it is.
Yeah. I feel like we spent a lot. That looks back on the tape. We spent a lot of time talking about our matchup, but then again, it's us.
Yeah.
So
I mean, and again, we highly encourage you guys text us.
Yeah.
Shoot Danny an email if you got a question like who should I start this week. Mm-hmm. We'll talk about it on the show.
We record Wednesday mornings. I got my phone right here. If I get it, we'll answer it.
Yeah.
Got a picture. Look at that. See that? Picture of my boys. There we go. Anyway,